So my question for you is, did all the Jews in Egypt become slaves? Welcome back to the RabbiSmith.org Passover series. We're exploring all the causes of slavery, the causes of the exile, and the solution. What is the redemption about? How God Almighty is ready, willing, and able to take us out of redemption at any moment, as soon as we're ready. So enjoy, share this video, and please subscribe below. No, the answer is not all the Jews became slaves. Incredibly enough, even though the slavery of Egypt seemed to be absolutely insurmountable and no human being had ever escaped it, some people never even started to be slaves. Some never even entered the state of slavery. And that was the tribe of Levi. Tribe of Levi. Levi was one of the sons of Jacob. And that tribe was focused on staying true to Ruach Yisrael Saba, the spirit of Israel, their forefather, their grandfather Israel, also known as Jacob. They stayed true to that. They stayed in a state of learning Torah. They continued learning Torah even while the rest of the Jews were committed and had gone off track to becoming part of Egyptian society. The tribe of Levi refused to do that. When most of the Jewish population was ashamed to be circumcised, and then were afraid to be circumcised once the government rules began to take advantage of the Jewish fear and assimilation by outlawing circumcision on the penalty of death. The tribe of Levi was not afraid. They continued to unabashedly circumcise themselves. They continued to learn Torah. They stayed out of the drive to belong, to become part of Egyptian society, to conform to Egyptian society, to be seen as like all other Egyptians, and to be seen as patriotic and loyal Egyptian citizens and be part of the Egyptian culture and the Egyptian science and philosophy and the Egyptian immorality. They stayed free from all that. Now, it wasn't smooth sailing because the Egyptian public health authorities were after their babies too. But the state of slavery never entrapped the tribe of Levi because they refused to allow themselves to become spiritually enslaved. When Paro called for a day of national infrastructure building, and the Jews eagerly ran to try to prove how much they belong, the tribe of Levi did not show up. They just stayed in their communities and they continued to learn Torah and ignored what everyone else was doing. And that, my friends, is how it's possible, even in the most difficult circumstances, even in the most enticing circumstances, even under the greatest threats and the greatest blandishments and the greatest fear-mongering and the greatest threats of scarcity, the threats of danger, and the threats of what will other people think, the simple way is to say, I am not interested and I'm not getting involved. I will continue to do just like my forefathers did, just like Israel, the proud forefather of the Jewish people, was not himself willing to see anything else in the world besides God Almighty. So too, his children and eventually the entire world are meant to see that also. And the tribe of Levi, just because they decided to remain true to that, they never got sucked into the Egyptian bondage. And that, my friends, is the answer for each one of us to continue to follow in the footsteps and to lead in the path of Yisrael Saba, Ruach Yisrael Saba, the spirit, the way of conduct, the way of thinking, the way of being of Israel, our forefather. And through that, we will be able to be a light unto the nations and able to actually lift up the rest of the world from bondage. So please take a moment to subscribe at RabbiSmith.org for powerful and freeing content, and so we can stay in touch. There you'll find live classes and lots of inspiring content and learning. If you didn't do so yet, please share this video and share the hope. Make sure to subscribe below so you can watch the next video in our Passover series, and we'll see you soon.